Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, we are going to be playing in the Tier 8 American Premium Medium Tank, the T-26E4 Super Pershing. Normally, mediums are known for being quite mobile, not having the most armor, and usually a fast-firing, good DPM gun. Now, the Super Pershing does have some mobility, and it does have a fast-firing gun, but I wouldn't say that it has high DPM or good mobility. First of all, if we take a look at its power to weight, it only has a top speed of 40. And should I also mention that its power to weight is 11.3. To point out how bad that power to weight is, the 45 TP that was released just a couple days ago has the same power to weight, making this a severely underpowered medium. It's very weird though, because this is the normal Pershing, and as you'll notice from a top-down view, the turret design is exactly the same, and as well the hull design is exactly the same. Apart, this thing's got weird angles on the front. Well, that's actually because this thing has extra armor added onto the front of it. This was actually a real tank. I think there was only one of these made in real life, and it was just a tanker that put extra armor on the front of their Pershing. Now, the advantages of having that extra frontal armor definitely shows on the armor profile. You'll notice that when an MIL-1 aims at it, this upper plate right here is about 260 millimeters thick. And even the parts that aren't 260 are still upwards of 210. Even the lower plate is upwards of 200 millimeters thick, making the Super Pershing actually quite a strong and armored vehicle. Even the turret is upwards of 214 on the weakest, and on the thickest parts is upwards of 415, although it still does have a very weak upper part. As you can see, that spaced armor does not cover the roof of the turret, so you can very easily hit that. So the Super Pershing is very interesting on its armor profile. When you're using it hull down, it goes upwards of 250 almost everywhere, making it actually quite hard to penetrate. So if you're running this vehicle hull down, its armor does become quite robust. As you can notice, the Super Pershing is quite super, especially if you do compare this armor profile to the normal Pershing, which has virtually no armor even close to comparison, except for, I would say, the turret, which you can see actually isn't too bad, but it also has those same very weak roof spots. So overall, the Super Pershing is very weird on its armor profile because it is incredibly strong on the hull, but yet it's got a super weak roof on the turret, which makes it actually quite vulnerable to players that understand how to penetrate it. One of the parts I really like about this tank is the very good penetration of 215 on the standard and 271 on the premium, but unfortunately, it does only have about 2,070 damage per minute. So what is the strengths of the Super Pershing? Well, it's the fact that it's got very good pen and very good armor. But the weird part is that, well, you could just drive a heavy and have better mobility in certain cases and better armor and actually a better gun in most situations. For example, an Object 252 goes, what, 35 kilometers per hour? I think it has a better power to weight than 11, and it's got more alpha, and it's got about the same DPM of 2,000. So that's the only problem I see with the Super Pershing is, you know, like, why? What's the point of it? Well, good luck. There is one point to the Super Pershing, and that is because it is a medium. Heavies, obviously, are supposed to play in the heavy side of the map. But the great thing about the Super Pershing is that you actually get to play it like a medium. It's got 10 degrees of gun depression. It does have a medium-type gun. And because of that, I can actually drive it over towards A side on a map like Molendyke and actually get away with it, which is great. So the enemy team has what? They got an Object 84 and an AMX Defender and a Progetto 46. And because I've got that extra armor, it means that I'm basically playing like a heavy tank against these mediums. Sure, heavies will probably butter right through my turret, right through my weak spots, but mediums will definitely struggle. So we got the Progetto over here. Not sure if the dude's going to poke. He's getting absolutely slapped right now. Oh my, yeah, that Progetto just lost literally all of his. Okay, Progetto learned his lesson. I don't actually think he learned his lesson, I'm going to be real. He'll probably do that again. But there you go. Nice penance, the AMX Defender. And let's start reloading again. 2 more seconds left. And boop. Well, I was going to try and hit him, but unfortunately my Skoda just didn't see me sitting there, I guess. Alright, well, let's keep driving on up, see if we can maybe get some shells into the Borsig. I would definitely expect there to be some TD sitting in the back of this bush over here. Hello? Anybody here? Are we spotted? We're not spotted. Interesting. Does that mean their team went to C? Like, what? I would normally expect to be detected by at least one of their 3 TDs in this bush, but I guess they are not over here. That's very, very weird. Okay, well, you'll notice even like the T-54E2 Shark is actually going faster than us in most situations. It is a very weird, very, very weird tank. So we got the Su-152 and the Waffenträger Panzer IV off to the side. We also got the Borsig in mid. I would like to get like a shell into the Borsig, but honestly, I'm not even going to worry about him right now. We're just going to go for the Su-152, which I think will be a pretty easy... Oh, never mind. I was going to say pretty easy pen, but let's try that again. Aiming in on the Su. Boop. Now, one great thing that I should point out about this vehicle is the armor is all spaced, meaning that a vehicle like this Su-152 actually won't really be able to pen my frontal armor if it tries aiming at it. Now we just reload. This is just such a weird game. I don't think we're going to get much damage out in this battle just because of the weird circumstances we're having here. I'm going to shoot an HE at this waffle. And wow, not running Spall. Okay, well that's a little bit of free damage right there. Let's reload again. 3, 2, 1, and boop. Thank you very much for your hit points. With that aside, we got left a Borsig, an Amex Defender, and oh wow, yeah, the entire enemy team is not doing pretty well. Alright, well, let's see if we can get a shell into this IS-3. You'll see, again, we've got that very good penetration. We did get penned. It looks like, wow, that was a very weird shell. I don't even know if that IS-3 was aiming there. Just unfortunate for us that it did end up hitting that spot, I guess, right? Let's just go down this hill. Come on, object. Gets rammed, and then we should be able to just finish him off with a tap into the turret cheek. There you go. This tank does actually weigh a lot, which means that it's pretty fantastic at ramming enemies. We got the Borsig off to the side, is running Spall, quite surprisingly. And again, as I said before, this thing is actually quite good at ramming, so you can just tap a vehicle like the Borsig, take off a pretty decent chunk, and there you go. Not actually doing too bad in this battle. We've dealt maybe 15, 1600, nothing crazy because we haven't been able to actually get ourselves into the battle. But I'll take it. You know what? It's better than nothing. It looks like this Amex Defender is absolutely slapping my poor E75, which you can see right there. Let's reload again, fire another HE. Oh, God, what are you doing to me? As you can see, the Super Pershing on-movement dispersion is quite poor, and that's just the big old downside this vehicle does carry. Now, what we're going to be doing in this battle is just driving up and up and up this hill, because at this point, the Amex Defender really has no position to go, which means it's pretty free for us, so let's just miss that for a shot. But hey, again, as I talked about before, the ramming capabilities of this vehicle are quite strong, which means we can just... Okay, what is this? What is this? Game, it's a light tank. All right. There. It's fine. The shark killed him. I don't need to lose any more brain cells this battle. I don't even know if this is the Super Pershing gun messing up at this point or that Amex Defender just getting incredibly lucky. Either way, first battle, nothing crazy. We did 2,244 damage. As you noticed, we really didn't have that mobility to deal with the enemy team. We're kind of slow. If we had been in, let's say, a normal Pershing that goes upwards of 50s, and we've been able to use that more DPM with that power to weight, that game, it would have been way more beneficial because we could have been in the front line dealing more damage. But that's a good game to showcase because you can't always be in the front line with the Super Pershing. It's just too slow of a vehicle to get there. It's definitely not your average medium where you can just zip right over there and do your job. But it is kind of cool because this vehicle still has such incredible armor. It can hold the medium line when you need it to, you know? If the enemy mediums are going to start pushing very aggressive, this is one of those few tanks that can actually hold off those mediums without being penned quite easily. But let's see. Our heavies are, unfortunately, pushing towards A side, which is actually really sad. When heavies do that, it's a much, much worse situation for your team because that means the enemy can basically hold C for free, but it all depends where the enemy heavies also go. So we got the Defender Mark 1 over here. Not much I can do to that player yet, but badoop, there you go. Nice pen into the Defender, and we back in the cover. You can see that turret getting a pretty nice bounce, and it looks like the enemy heavies actually did go towards the poor side of the map for them. So what I'm going to do at this position is just drive around. Hopefully we don't get hit by the Super Pershing. Get another shell into the Defender. Let's put on my adrenaline and see if we can get some big ol' slapperoonies in. We did get penned by the Defender, but that's all fine. Lower plate, as we did go over, is about 190 thick, and the Defender has about 220 millimeters of pen, so that actually makes sense. You will notice that the lower plate on the Super Pershing is a weak spot, but that is fairly common to expect. It also is the roof that is a weak spot, but that's all fine because we are just tapping this guy over and over, and he really is not standing much of a chance. There you go. Another tap into the roof. And let's keep on going. Now, at this point, the enemy team is already getting quite slapped around. They are not doing very well. But, you know what, I guess they're also not doing awful. I mean, they are dealing some damage to our team, just not a very good job. Now you can actually see where that power to weight isn't terrible. On flat ground, we are able to get up to 40, and at least that's something, right? Let's get a nice shell into that T-32, start reloading. I am going to get hauled down. This is where that armor might actually do a decent job. There you go. Nice pen. And T-32 missed us by a mile. And that's where this armor is actually not too bad, is when you're using it against vehicles that have a pretty poor accuracy value. They will struggle to hit your weak spots, and that was a pretty good shot there for us. So let's start reloading. Let's make our way up into the front line, see if we can get some more damage into this T-32. Hello, good sir. There you go. Perfect. Look at that. Angled our hull. Got a nice bounce on the lower plate. So you can see now where that armor actually is working pretty well. And every bounce from the T-32, because we actually have okay DPM, means that we can just out-trade him, get more pens in. There you go, another nice penetration for 239. We're up to 2,500 damage dealt in this game. There you go, look at that, another nice bounce. Unfortunately, that shell did not end up penetrating the T-32. But that's all good because we can just reload here. There you go, another nice pen into his vehicle for 223. And now let's just start shooting the Tiger. That's some more free damage. Boop. There you go. 208 into his vehicle. Now, the IS-5 is still alive in the enemy team, and as you'll notice, that player is in base C as it is being captured. Very weird, but hey, we're doing okay already. We're up to 3,200 damage dealt. This will already be a mastery. I'm going to be completely real with you guys. And I'm going to start heading towards that IS-5 because that's some more free damage. I'm not sure if anybody even shot the IS-5 as well. But again, because we're a medium and not a heavy, we are able to get there a little bit faster. You can see we're going upwards of 35, 40 already. So it's not actually that slow. It's just quite bad, you know, on accelerating. So that's what I would say. But there's the IS-5. I don't know how these mediums knew that he was there. But let's see. Let's see. The 49 missed, which means more damage for me. Aiming and fire. There you go. One nice shell into his vehicle. And let's reload again. We're up to 3,400 damage dealt already, which is pretty solid if I do say so myself. This Dracula and I are just absolutely smacking this dude out of existence right now. There's another shell into his turret. I wonder if this IS-5 is actually going to kill him. No, he didn't. I think the IS-5 actually fired premium ammo, which was kind of a foolish mistake in my opinion. But hey, we were able to deal 4,100 damage in this game and actually showcase really the better side of this vehicle. Its armor was able to get some bounces. Now, overall, would I say the Super Pershing is a tank you should buy? Not really. It's an old vehicle, and I think that it should be buffed a little bit on its gun, or maybe its power to weight. Like in World of Tanks PC, it was buffed massively on its power to weight. And I would think that that'd be a pretty decent buff in Blitz. If this thing went way faster, it would be a much better tank. It should go like 50 in my opinion, with maybe a power to weight of 15, you know? But either way, Super Pershing is a very fun vehicle, and it is a pretty decent tank. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about this vehicle. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.